Hi there. My name's Ben, and today we're going to talk about a topic very dear to my heart, and that is the importance of music. Now, I want to preface this by saying I'm not a musician. I don't even know how to play an instrument. I can't sing very well, and my rap game is pretty weak. However, I am an avid listener of music. I love many, many different styles of it. I'm sure probably everybody says that. I listen to a little bit of everything. Obviously, I have my favorites, but we're going to talk today about why it's so important, why music is important for humanity, and just for your life in general. According to me, of course. Now, what sparked this was I was exercising and a song popped up on my shuffle by one of my favorite artists, Kanye West. Controversial, I know. And it was a joke song that he did in 2018 called Lift Yourself. And it was, I remember when it first came out, it was a wonderfully produced instrumental with some old school, I think it was a 1970s, I forget what the sample is, but that old soul music, and there was some wonderful bass in there and some drums and everything like that, and everybody was expecting, myself included, that Kanye West would come in and he would deliver an amazing rap verse, but it ended up being whoop diddy scoop, scoop diddy whoop poop, and I had to chuckle and laugh. This was mid-set when it happens, and I've been listening to this song for 4 years, and it still gets me every time. I just start cracking up laughing, and I really enjoy the song, even though it is a little bit of a joke. But it got me thinking, okay, this sound, this grouping of sounds brought a smile to my face. It made me feel something. That's got to be important. Now, I'm not going to go into why this happens, alpha waves in the brain, because I'm no neuroscientist. I don't know how it works. I can speak anecdotally about what music means, though. Now, music is a way, not only is it a creative outlet, let's say, but it's a way for us to communicate messages. It's a way for us to express ourselves in a different way that's not, it doesn't always have to be verbal. I mean, it can be if there's singing in there, but even just an instrumental on a guitar or a drum solo or slapping the bass or whatever sort of instrument there is, it's a way of it's a creative outlet for yourself. And I think that having a creative outlet is really, really important. And we'll talk more about that in a couple of other videos. But having a creative outlet is really important just because humans need something to help us transcend the physical experience. And music is a great way to do that. Not only that, but if done well, it's extremely pleasant. There's nothing quite like hearing your favorite song come on the radio or on your shuffle these days, when you're working out or when you're at work or when you're driving home and you had not so great of a day, but your favorite song comes on and it's a complete banger and it just puts you in a much, much better mood. Now, of course, why do people like certain types of music? I'm not going to get into that. That's whatever. I can tell you why I like certain types of music, why I like jazz, for example. Not to get all Jerry Seinfeld B-movie, do you like jazz? But I love jazz specifically because it's what's the best way to describe this? It has a remarkable capacity for virtuoso artists. So you have, the classic greats, Miles Davis, Oscar Peterson, Duke Ellington. My personal favorite is Charlie Parker, essentially because, again, he is the forerunner of bebop music, which is a style of jazz which is geared towards the virtuoso. It's fast tempo, it almost requires you to be able to think on your feet and to be a good improviser. And I can relate with that because as someone who tends to improvise a lot of things on the fly, especially, let's say, if I'm, working and there needs to be a solution done quickly, or if we have to have a presentation that's done, or let's say if I have to give a speech, and I'm put on the spot, I'm usually very reactive, and I tend to perform that pretty well. Now, that's one of the reasons why I love bebop music and jazz in particular. I think I like hip hop for the same reason, just because, especially, the freestyle battles and the ciphers, you have to think with your words you have to think of the words on the fly, and there's so many complex rhyming schemes, and the way that you're able to, ride a beat, so to speak, is, to me, it takes an unbelievable amount of coordination and an unbelievable amount of rhythm in order to do that I think it's just unbelievable. It's so cool. And I'm a little bit jealous. I wish I could do that. But then again, there is also something to be said about the Western classical music, for example, where you have Bach, for example, who has an almost mathematical precision to the way in which he constructs his music. Or if you have Beethoven, who's got that very somber, powerful stuff that puts goosebumps on your skin, and you really feel it. Why do we feel this way? I don't know, but I can tell you that it is important that we feel this way, and it's important that we listen to music. I think because not only does it help us transcend our day-to-day experience, but sometimes it's nice to break up, to not have silence. And I think that while silence, by and large, is generally a good thing, because it allows you to be fully alone within your thoughts, it's not always beneficial. And music can help to not only break up and act as that filler, but it can also spark you into inspiration and to be creative. Look, it inspired me to make a video. So I think it's very important for us to be able to listen to music, not just, of the popular variety of the kind, but old folk songs that give us a glimpse into what life was like before, into how people thought, the heroic epics of the past. Or there are some cultures where their entire history is passed down in song. Or then, of course, you get in West Africa the griots as well, who make wonderfully beautiful music. And it's something that is universal to every single culture. Yet within that universality, there are so many different facets of music that it's almost as though they can be very, very separate. And now people are really pushing the boundaries of, what music can be like, especially with computer generated sounds and different production techniques and layering and sampling and all of that stuff. We're creating these new sounds that haven't been heard before, or maybe they have been, but they don't always have to be pleasant, but they're still music. And I think that's why it's important. It's important because not only does it uplift you or reinforce something within you, not only does it inspire you, not only does it act as a sometimes necessary filler to the silence, but I think it acts most importantly as a strong reminder of how creative humanity can be and how beneficial it is to let that creativity be expressed. So, if you think music is equally important as I do, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you don't, still, I would love to hear from you. Drop it down in the comments. And also let me know what kind of music you like to listen to. Thank you so much for watching.